Alright, today we have two more champions. First off, we will go on Gren the Detonator. Okay, Gren the Detonator, and you're probably thinking detonator, oh, this guy probably has to do something with bombs. And you're absolutely right. So, his passive is the detonator. And his passive is basically, so, we'll get into this later, but his W is a mine, and this is what really instigates his passive. So whenever anybody gets damaged by a mine, and trust me, these mines are like pretty big radius. It's like more like he's placing like one big mine that activates a bunch of smaller mines around in the area or something. Because it's like a big area, so like it's not going to be very easy to block this damage that coming from the mines. Anyways, his passive has to do with that, and basically every time a person is damaged with a mine, he attaches to them a C4 from anywhere they are. They're basically just marked with a C4. And what this means is that if he gets close enough, he'll automatically detonate that C4, damaging that opponent and slowing them as well. And plus, after their mine, they're already like, they have true vision on them and the whole shebang. Anyways, that's not all. If by any chance this mine happens to hurt a lot of people, he can detonate one C4 to do a chain reaction, which, I mean, it's bigger and it's more damage, way more damage, because it's a chain reaction to like all these C4s around, which will also detonate any C4s that have been caused anywhere else as well. It's a chain reaction. It just blasts them all, even if the mine is from like across the map. But that's pretty hard to do. Anyways, it's just a suggestion. I mean, or like it's a little strat, kind of. Anyways, then that's when we get into his Q. His Q is just a regular grenade. The grenade I was thinking about is not like some frag grenade or anything. It's more like one of those baton-looking grenades. Those kind of grenades. So here's the cool thing about his Q. Not only does he just launch the Q and then have it detonate upon where it lands, is he can recast Q anytime he wants to explode the detonator early. Now, here's the thing. If you throw it and you just leave it to its own design until let it like blow up, it'll blow up, right? It'll just do like its normal thing. But if you detonate early, the explosion radius will be larger because you're kind of... Yeah, anyways, the explosion radius will just be larger, a little bit larger. So you have more chances to hit people, other than just like launching it somewhere. W, place a mine. This mine is a large mine, which it kind of like, think about like some movie scene here, and then like, okay, so he places a mine and like places it down, takes like a second, and then from the hatch there comes like this things, and then these other little tiny mines disperse from this one mine that he planted, and then they go to these certain places, and then he has a big radius of mines. That's just what I'm thinking here. Anyways, he places a mine, and he has 3 charges of these. His E is basically a firecracker of explosions. He has a line of little, like, I guess little sticks of dynamite or something, and he lights it, and then he kind of like whips it out forward in front of him, and it kind of just goes in a line of fire and boom and explosions. 2 lines, those caught in the middle take twice the damage. Those caught on the outside at the end also take twice the damage, but on the outside only take basically, you know, 1 stream of boom dynamites, you know. Anyways, those are his QWE. His ultimate is another mine, basically. Well, he can use a previous mine that he's placed, but his ultimate will just place another mine, in which this one, like, the ultimate will turn into a detonator as well, just for this mine. And you'll see that because this ultimate will actually cause a blast at your feet, and you will launch yourself in the direction that you want. You'll choose the direction you want, basically. But you also can just, you know, kind of think of just normal things in everyday life. If you're going to stand on this end of the mine, you're going to go that way, right? So just think about it, and then you'll blast that way. During this time, you can cast Q. Q will be a bombardment of grenades beneath you. Everyone hit by these grenades also has a C4 mark. And then you can also, by the time you land, you crash land, kind of, and then those around you are stunned briefly, really briefly, just so you have time to activate your passive, and then boom, chain reaction and explosions. Boom. Damage. Next, we have Yinsky, the spiraled one. Whoa. Now, think of Yinsky as a kind of a monster-looking creature with like tall, long features and especially long extra arms. Now, if you think about these arms, think about them as a slinky. Yes, I know, kind of weird. But like, think about from here to the elbows about normal. But once you get here, the arm kind of like thins out and it kind of spreads. And so, kind of little story here for you. When this guy was basically born into reality, his arms were normal, but they kept growing. And instead of just dragging them behind him, he decided that he would put it into a spiral. And then it just came the slinky. Whoa, no way. Anyways, slinky. Yes, and both of his arms are like that. And so here's his passive. So abilities and basic attacks start to conceal the enemy. And you'll see like a little mark of like a slinky. And as you do basic attacks and abilities, this meter will kind of fill up of the slinky, kind of like color it in. And then once it's full, it will, so like after 5 abilities and basic attacks, they are rooted for 2 seconds. And depending like how far away they are as well, like if they're really close, it'll be 1.5 seconds. If they're really far away, it'll be 2.5 seconds. So like you can kind of time it to be well. And you'll see that with your abilities as well. So you can kind of like time that right. And so you can get them like far away or you can get them close up. Anyways, we'll go into his Q. And this is he launches one of his arms in a target direction. If a person or enemy is attached, he will wrap the slinky around them, kind of. You know how like the slinky, the end of it kind of can turn around something and kind of take it with it, like in a vending machine, like how it slowly unleashes that like spiral and then the thing falls out. Think about that, but the opposite. It's wrapping around and then he pulls them in and then he hits the target and then boom, damage. W is he latches onto the enemy again. Like, so he can latch onto the enemy. This time, this is a target, not a skill shot. And basically, he'll do continuous damage, kind of slowly pulling them in, just like the opposite thing of a vending machine. And this will do continuous damage. Think about a circle as well. Like, once they leave that range, he snaps off the slinky thing. But as over time, the circle will actually decrease, but the damage will increase. So yeah, that's cool. Each second, he gets more exponential damage upon this target, but his circle also decreases, increasing it harder. But this means, so since he has 2 arms, you can do 2 abilities at a time. So you can do W and you can do Q. This is cool because then you can pull him in to make sure that the circle is not broken. Boom. His E is that he will do a double swipe, kind of like with one arm, and then another arm, and then in the form of an X. This one cannot be done at the same time as the other abilities. This has to be done separate. But trust me, after your W's gone, by the way, you can recast W to let W go early. But once you're done with W and Q, E will do quite a bit of damage to finish them off. Anyways, ultimate. Put your arms together in one large slinky. You control this slinky. Have you ever have you ever seen a slinky go down the stairs and it just keeps going, right? It just goes like that. I kind of made the cool noises. Anyways, basically this is the same thing. But think about it, instead of stairs, it's just an open range, right? So you actually are stopped and you just control your hands now. Basically, you're just controlling where they go and what they do. You'll start out like this. You'll go into the ground. You'll come back up and you'll just keep going in arches over and over again. So you're not really like stopping and then going again like on the stairs, but you're going to be able to control it. So like you don't have to go straight. You can go over here and back over here. Therefore, to take these out, these enemies champions. Anyone caught in the ring itself will be hit backwards. Anyone caught in the center though is basically stunned for basically the time that it's in there. And then once it leaves or passes that champion, they're just rooted for another second, 1.5 seconds or something like that. And then after that, they're just back to normal. So this is kind of a cool ultimate because it allows you to be like kind of a support in a way that you're able to kind of allow the allies champions to get on top of them and to be able to do the stuff they need to. as well as your QWE. Your Q can, you can basically be support Blitzcrank again and pull him in. W to latch on, and then E to do some damage. This is also like kind of like he can be solo because he is really well at dueling. And then of course the passive is just another thing to help you get staying on to the ending champion. Anyways, that is Yinsky and Gren. Two champions.